This goes out to all our friends in Funky Town, Fort Worth, Texas. It's called Funky by Dark.
How you doing today, Casey?
Well, pretty good. You know, it's a little bit cold. I mean, I don't know when everybody will view this, but we're about to hit a little cold snap here in February, so winter's not over yet.
Yeah, I see you got. I like your wallpaper back there.
Well, you know, let me move it a little bit. You see those posters back there?
Yeah.
I put out an EP 3 years ago, and we had a little CD release party, and we printed up some big vinyl copies of the album covers, the front and the back. And so that's what I got hanging on the wall.
Oh, cool. Tell me a little bit about your band. Let me tell you one other thing about Casey. He's jumped right in with MACT and contributing a lot to the board of directors, and he's helping me out a great deal as vice president, me being president. And of course, I don't know if you know it or not, but I'm dealing with an illness that's incapacitating me for a while. And Casey's really stepped up and helped out, and I'd like to thank him very much for that publicly. Also, I'd like to say he's been involved in a lot of things. He won second place in the singer-songwriter contest we had last fall. I think we may have another one of those fairly soon or something similar.
Yeah, my plaque is at the house. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring it up here.
Oh, where are you?
I'm at I have an office in downtown Cameron where I live. So I have an office space down here, and this is my jam room.
I got you.
So you can see our drum kit back there and guitars and little keyboards.
Well, tell me, your band, the KCD Band, what does KCD stand for?
Well, that's a good story. You know, I did this album, this EP 3 years ago. My son, Caleb, helped me out. He's an MACT member as well.
Right.
And he was active in the Fort Worth scene, and he had, done some studio work. And I'm like, hey, man, help your old man out. Let me make my album. And so he pulled some of his friends together, and Caleb played on it along with Denver Williams, a drummer by the name of Ashton Shanafelt. Peter Rawinga is a guy in Fort Worth who helped produce it and recorded it. And so I did it as a bucket list. You know how you do things. You're like, I just want to do this. It came out so much better than I ever thought it would, mainly because of those great musicians I had playing with me. And so I'm like, well, what am I going to call this thing? What am I going to call my band? It just seems like Casey Stanislaw is a mouthful. And who's going to remember that? Casey, middle initial D. And so I thought, well, I could call myself KCD, spelling it out, but there's a Casey Donnelly. I'm looking for something unique, and I decided, okay, just gonna go with KCD, which is sort of my name. Yeah, we wouldn't call it an acronym, but it's my name, but it's just spelled differently. Yeah. Okay, that's my rock star name. Yeah.
Yeah, D is your middle initial. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Well, tell me about the KCD Band that you've got going right now. Tell me about I know all your band members, of course, and as I mentioned earlier, some of them are members of the MACT. We're proud to have you and, of course, them with us. Tell me about the band. What you got going?
Well, what happened after this EP? We did one show with the guys that helped me do it, and then it's my son and his friends, and that was just sort of a studio project. So I needed to get my own band together. And it took me a year from that point, and I just started hanging out at open mics, doing a little bit of networking. I met Tom Jones first. Tom Jones, a bass player who plays bass for me and also for James Stone and Matt Stone. And then I'd met Josh at the same time, and we started jamming. Then I ran into Joe Del Castillo, and the next thing we knew, we had a little band going, and that was sort of the end of 2019. Summer. And
where did you find Joe?
Actually, we were at a jam session at O'Brien's in Temple, And he was playing alongside, and the next thing you knew, I asked him to come and sit in with me on an acoustic set one day when I had a little, solo acoustic thing I was doing. And the next thing I knew, we were in a band together. So, yeah, that's how that band came about. I didn't know if we would mesh right away, Joshua Sperling being in his 20s and Tom Jones being in his 70s, but hey, music.
Hey man, it's all about the music.
Great dealer, isn't it?
I don't think age enters into it. You're either into it or you're not, and age doesn't have a lot to do with it, in my opinion. Unless you're going to be touring extensively or something like that, then age comes into play. But being around here, play locally, I think anybody can handle it.
Well, the thing, of course, for me as a band leader is we're playing a lot of my tunes, and that's always very humbling when another a group of musicians, good musicians, get a hold of those tunes and then turn them into something more than whatever they were when I had them in my head or wrote them acoustically. So that's
they put their own spin on it.
Yeah,
put their own spin on the tune. Yeah. Tell me this. What kind of projects are you working on now, or you got in the works, or shows? You got any shows lined up? If you do, good for you, because there's not a lot of people who got shows lined up right now. But tell me about what's going on in that area, your live performance shows.
Well, we have a show that was scheduled for last March in Waco. We were going to be opening for Holly Tucker for a benefit for the Lockwood Library Museum. And that show has been rescheduled. So that's the big thing on our calendar right now. May the, first Saturday in May. I think it's the 8th.
Yeah.
May 8th. We'll be opening for Holly Tucker at that show.
And that's at Lee Lockwood.
At Lee Lockwood.
For some of you who know about MAC, we have done a couple of groovy shows over there at Lee Lockwood, and they're great folks to work with. And, they got a beautiful venue over there. And Brenda Light is the lady you work with over there and setting up events. So if you've got something going and you need inside, when are they actually going to open the inside of that?
I'm not sure. As that building is controlled by the Scottish Rite, which is a fraternal organization here in Texas, and there's a head over the Scottish Rite in Texas. So it's really dependent on those folks. I do know that they've started having meetings over there again. So it's kind of semi-open. And I think maybe Johnny Bradshaw might have had a show over there recently, because, he does the Stars Over Texas.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he put that off for another month or what. I talked to him and I don't remember exactly what he said. So you've been during the COVID period, like me. I'm not a very prolific songwriter, but I do attempt to write songs, and I've written some songs. I found that this period right now, everything I'm going through is kind of pushing all these songs out of me that I've had rattle around in my head for a while. So I understand you've been writing as well. How's that going? What's going to come of that?
Well, it seems like I write in spurts, and long about May of last year, I got on a little streak and I wrote 6 or 7 songs through the fall, and I haven't written anything since, say, September. But, I've been, as part of writing songs, sort of getting better at the craft. I've also been trying to get better on Pro Tools, just sort of learning how to record my own demos. I see. Just a little keyboard back here. I learned how to use MIDI so I could do some keyboard parts, maybe do some drum beats, that kind of thing. And also, from time to time, the band shows up, or there may be 1 or 2 folks here. Joe may be here, or Jaden may be here, and so they'll put a track down or 2. And then, I just recently invested in one of these digital drum kits. So next time Josh is over here and we need to do a demo, he can at least lay in a beat. And these are just I consider them first drafts, until we sit down and either do a studio project or work them up with the band. There's works in progress. So these songs are songs that you wrote back then that you haven't recorded before, that you put on the videos with Texas Music Cafe. Texas Music Cafe, I'm glad you brought that up. That's the other project, of course, we're working on right now. We did a taping back in November, and I decided...
And that was for this.
Yeah. I decided to take a little extra time with my audio mixes, and since it didn't look like we were going to get on TV right away, so I took a little extra time with my audio mixes. I've got 6 tunes that we're going to put out on video. One of them should be out here just any day or two, and that's Goodbye July. That song was on that EP from 2018. Out of those 6, 2 of them have not been released before. The other 4 are off of that EP. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to that. I happened to see Goodbye July, and Goodbye July is it's kind of an upbeat song, but it's kind of also a downer. You know, I mean, some of the lyrics are really uplifting, and some of the lyrics, it just reminded me of the cold hard truth. You know, that song Goodbye July, because it dealt a lot with making hard choices, and then having the fortitude to follow through and do what you have to do to make that a reality.
Goodbye July is about. Thank you, by the way, for digging that tune, and that it's kind of a special tune in that it's a family tune, because I wrote that song when I was on vacation with my family, and we were at a cabin up in Canada, and I had my guitar, and I wrote that tune sitting on the porch one day, and it's about summer being over. It's about not wanting to get back to it, but you have to. And
you got to go back to the grind. Yeah,
there's a little metaphorical sense there as well, is that July is the 7th month of the year, and now we're getting into August, so we're over halfway done with the year. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a life metaphor as well. Hey, I'm in my 50s. I better get going if I'm gonna. They call it the frantic 50s. It's kind of that as well. So.
Yeah, I've lived through that already. Sorry to say, I've already lived through that. And so let's talk a little bit about MACT. Let's talk about.
Right on.
I'm the president. Of course, you're my vice president, and I've been president of the ACT for quite a while now. And not saying that's going to change tomorrow, but that is going to change. MACT, we're looking for the future. We're working for the future. We've been talking about it in our board meetings. We've been talking about the Groovies, what we're going to do about the Groovies, and other events that we can have. So we're working on a lot of behind the scenes stuff. This unspectacular preparation. That always turns into exceptional results. I think a lot of unspectacular preparation. So with the COVID situation, it's kind of jammed us up, hasn't it, Casey? From actually having something,
Yeah, and we've had all of our board meetings virtually. I mean, ever since I've joined the board a little over a year ago, we have never met in person since that point. And, we've gotten pretty good at this Zoom in or Google Meet or whatever we're using, and it's working out. But boy, are we all just ready to get to see each other's faces again in real life.
I tell you, just to be in the same room with a bunch of musicians playing music, man, I can't hardly wait for that to come back. It's interesting when you take something for granted like that, the music scene, it's taken away how much it impacts your life if you're involved with it. So, MACT, we're all about supporting musicians. We need musicians to join. We've got quite a few members, but we always want more because there's strength in numbers. We have an excellent website where you can go and check it out. That's mactx.org. And you can go on that webpage and check us out. You can even sign up, and it'll explain the benefits you receive as a member and show you things we're doing and that sort of thing. And you can sign up and fill out your profile and link your music. I mean, it's a great, awesome marketing tool for the musicians and the bands. Just performers in general, to sell themselves to the public, because anybody can go on the website and check out what's going on. So if you haven't been on the website, check it out. It's mactx.org. Let's see, how far are we into this thing right now? Have we got more time? Are we good?
I bet we got another 5 minutes or so, but
okay. Let's
talk about MACT, and it's a pleasure to be on the board and serving under your top, and appreciate your confidence. I just want to say that we do have a really great board that we've been able to put together. It's very functional. Everybody's doing stuff. We got a lot of great ideas in the pipeline. Of course, this Texas Music Cafe thing has been something we have been able to do during the COVID shutdown, and that is through MACT to bring some acts to Texas Music Cafe. And whether or not they ever get on TV, I mean, maybe not. But the good thing is, at least speaking on both sides of the fence, the bands are able to get live recordings, get some good tapings, and have something out on YouTube that they can use for their own promotion. And it also helps Texas Music Cafe. I mean, their mission is to promote local music. And I really appreciate that they're promoting original local music. So guys like me, piddly songwriters, hey, we can get our tunes out there and at least, get some people to listen to them. And at the end of the day, that's just all anybody really wants, right? So,
if you think about the info that's on one of the musicians' websites on our website, the information that's on there about members that they fill out, they've got the makings of a virtual press kit there. They've got videos, through Texas Music Cafe. Chris Armorin, of course, he's on the board of directors as well. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Chris has done an excellent job. Him and his crew of sound engineers have done an excellent job of videotaping all of the performers of the designated artists of the month. I think Casey had his done a little bit early because somebody missed out. And we've got some people coming in the future, too, that are going to be interesting to see. In fact, Casey's son, Caleb, is his band.
Deep Sleepers is their band.
Deep Sleepers. I would say Sleeping Dreamers. I don't know why. Something about the name of that band. It's the Deep Sleepers.
Yeah.
So we get to hear those guys. I've heard them play and seen some of their videos, and Caleb is awesome. His whole band is awesome. So they're going to be coming up soon, and just want you, hold on, people. Pray hard and think good thoughts, because this COVID mess is going to go away, and music scene is going to start back up. People are going to start going out and they feel safe. And that day is coming. It's a lot closer than it was a month ago or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, or when this whole damn thing started. So, like I say, pray hard and keep working on your craft, keep working on your music, because when it does open up, I think there's going to be a lot more original music out there, and there's going to be a lot more opportunities for exceptional talent to play and perform and make some money here in the area. So, Mr. Stanislaw, I know you think your name's too long, but to say it is a mouthful, Casey Stanislaw. Well, Casey, I want you to thank you for taking your time out of your working day to be with me today to do this interview, and I want to thank James Stone. He's our behind-the-scenes guy today. I want to thank James for his help in putting the video together. Anything else you'd like to throw out there, Casey, before we go?
Well, just again, thank you for having me on the board. Thank you for this interview, Artist of the Month as well. And, look for good things. We're trying to put some music together, trying to get some shows together. My website, our band's website is kcdmusictx.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, KCDMusicTX. And so we're going to get back into it and start posting some stuff. And but, it's just all about staying productive, staying creative. And I just encourage all the musicians out there who are listening, you can do something. If it's just run your scales, it's still productive. It's still making music. And we'll get the jam soon. Yeah.
Okay, Casey. Thanks again, James, for recording us. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll have another exciting band up for you next time. Take care.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.